going to talk about Kristen Iverson's book, Full Body Burden, Growing Up in the Nuclear Shadow of Rocky Flats. In her book, she uses many styles, such as using her mom for pathos, which allows her to make a false sense of security for her family that forces optimism onto the outside world, but gives us an insight on what her family's really like. So, what she does is that she makes her mom say things like, someday my ship will come on, and when it does, I'm going to share it with you kids. She's making her mom feel bad, so she makes us feel empathetic toward the family, even though the father is pouring out negative energy and is giving us the opposite of what the family is really like. She uses the concept of secrets also to show that sometimes, even though we think we know a person, we can never judge a book by its cover, such as the government, with the Rocky Flats facility behind me, hides the plutonium triggers and just says it makes cleaning supplies, which ends up giving many people cancer and having them die. The significance of these lies is that the government is doing it, and that she says we can never trust a person by its cover. We have to learn and investigate on what they are doing. Persistence is a common theme in the book, where the government won't back down with the big rallies taking place and everything else. They are constantly arresting people, trying to cover up their own acts for such accidents, such as a Mother's Day fire, which released a bunch of plutonium into the air and the ground, and almost caused a criticality. So, with these said, we can never judge a book by its cover. She uses many styles of writing, with examples of pathos with her mom, the examples of repetition in constantly saying the Mother's Day fire and how important it was, saying things as the day after the fire, the Rocky Mountain stores, the fire with the price tag of 38, luck played a big role in the Mother's Day fire. It constantly repeats. So in doing so, it allows us to look inside her perspective and show what's really going on in her family life. In doing so, she lets us understand the book more with she lets us understand her book more the author was highly influenced from her location, which she lived in Rocky Flats, near the Rocky Flats nuclear plutonium trigger facility. She lived down in. She has won many awards for this book, such as the Kirkus Review's Best Book About Justice Barnes & Noble Discover Award and the Andrew Carnegie Medal of Excellence. So you can tell that she is well educated in writing this book. She knows what she's talking about because she lived there and was educated onto the thing. How about this? This book genre is a memoir. She talks about her own life and uses many quotes to show that you can't trust what you're always looking at, such as, my family never talks about feeling, and we certainly never talk about plutonium. So it shows that even though their family looks like the perfect family on the outside, on the inside, it is really messed up, and that they never talk about things that they need to talk about with things. So eventually, this plutonium trigger factory gets raided by the FBI, in that this shows that they finally got fed up with the government covering up their actions. And so it finally ended this mysterious iron veil of cancer, cancer-related deaths, cancer in the kids, malignant tumors in the kids, and very high levels of genital cancer in this area, and the massive amounts of plutonium in the soil and in the air, which causes it all. So we understand from this book, I personally understood that it taught me to not judge people from their from the book, from their cover, because you can never know what's going on. Like her father was an alcoholic, but on the outside he looked like a normal father, working to prove people out of DUIs and helping people in the real world. So what I learned from this book is that you can't judge a book by its cover, because on the inside the contents may be crappy. It was a very good book to read.